Hello, everybody, and welcome back to Zack Talk Shop. I'm Zack. You could probably figure that out from the title. That's me, and I'm here to talk to you guys at least for a little while about various topics of manly nature, mainly tools, and the questions I get online. Because I get questions on these videos because I've been on YouTube for so long. I get questions of all types that go back, unbelievably so, 13 years now. It's really crazy that that's actually possible. It's wild. I'm 45, and I started when I was just into my 30s. This is a crazy situation. It's unbelievable. Hello to the chatters out there, which includes Funkmon. Funkmon's a former winner. Congratulations, Funkmon. Clint Glasgow and Jessica Egan. Jessica, I love you still. Okay. All right. So there was a whole bunch. You don't look like I'm. Hey, look. It's all gray underneath, but thank you. Uh, You're just like the lady in Dollar General. I went into Dollar General about a year ago, and I was like, "Lady, what age am I?" She said 37 or something like that. I was like, "Hey, you go, girl." So no, I'm 40. Well, I'm 44. I'm going to be 45 here. I don't know, not shortly. It's going to be a few months away, but I'm 44. I don't know why I said 45. I had 45 on the brain. I was listening to 45s or shooting a 45. There's something about 45, but. Anyway, 44. Now he's going to be like, yeah, you look 44. You just didn't look 45. No, totally. Okay. So on the show tonight, there are several different things I have. I have a bunch of questions I got. I'm going to try to do this every few days, and I'm going to make it ambiguous so no one can really expect when it's going to happen because I never know when it's going to happen. So there you go. I'm going to actually pause this display over here, which is messing with my mind. Okay. All right. So everybody, I have the other camera up and rolling today. For those of you listening on a podcast, that's not going to mean a whole lot. But yes, this is in fact a podcast. You can listen to this show as a podcast. You can go back later and you can be in your work van, in your man enclave, in a canoe on a river. It doesn't matter where you are, as long as there's cellular service. I think you can download them. I don't even know how podcasts work. I've been a podcaster for 7 years. I'm not quite sure how they even work. I just come on and talk onto this thing, and the thing records me, and it goes onto the internet. I don't know how it happens. Jessica, I love you even more than I did last time. I should admit that. But I also love Craig, so it's getting kind of weird. It's like a triangle thing or something like that. Someone will write a book about it. It's definitely a New Age book. We're going to see that dust collector? Dude, I could... oh, yeah. I had it pointed at a dust collector earlier. Here's the second camera. I could definitely probably shift it over. I had it pointing at my table so I could show y'all some tools that I'd picked up. Clint, I think you'll probably be the one who enjoys that the most. If you love... Jessica's saying that she loves my wife, Melissa, as well. So it's not a love triangle now. It's a love square. And I never even heard love square before, but it sounds... We're getting into reality TV territory or some kind of telenovela. We can all speak with a Spanish accent. It would be perfect. I don't look very Spanish though. I don't look very Spanish at all, actually. It's not going to work. None of us look Spanish. Jessica looks like she's from Ireland or something. Yeah, this isn't going to work. We have to go with a reality TV show. We can make it called Streets of Dublin or something like that. That'll be good. Streets of Dublin. I actually like the sound of that. There might be a show called that. But according to Saturday Night Live, the Irish people just date each other like they're interfamily. So I don't know if we want to do that or not. Anyway, let's transition. I don't think you can wear ponchos. Funkmon is saying, wear a cowboy hat and poncho, you'll sell the Hispanic angle. I don't think people can do that anymore, even if you're joking. I think the internet comes down hard on you if you do stuff like that. So, hey, what's up? Shep's Homestead is here as well. So we have a mixture of the HVAC people and the tools and woodcraft people. This will be interesting because, as many of you know, my hobbies extend far, and my career extended HVAC for more than 20 years. So, but I will say this. Even though I did HVAC for a long time, I blame my father for that, by the way, for saying you don't need to go back to second year of college. So it's what he said. That's why I was at HVAC for 24, 25, whatever amount of years it was. It was a lot of them. Actually, I think it might be longer. It might be 26. But I will tell you this. I was woodworking to some degree. I remember buying a router and making picture frames because I remember right on it 2006. So it goes back to at least 2006. That's not as far as the HVAC, but I've been building stuff ever since then too. I love it. I've always loved building stuff and taking stuff apart. I just took something apart today, probably shouldn't have. On that note, I took apart a DeWalt. We're going to get to that second camera eventually. I took apart a DeWalt heavy-duty drill, like that one-speed plug-in 900 RPM construction type drill. And it's from like 20 years ago from this same HVAC career I'm referring to. I was taking it apart because I figure I'll switch out the bearings, I'll grease the gears, and I'll put it back together, clean up the outside, and it'll have a nice rejuvenated drill. I can either sell it or I can use it around the shop, which I'll never do because I like cordless tools, but I like putting stuff together. Let me tell you something about tools and ball bearings. If you have 5 tools that you take apart, you're going to have like 10 to 15 different size ball bearings. They will not use the same size ball bearings. I have a box of various ball bearings, and not a single one of them would fit that drill. It's how life goes, okay? That's how life goes. But all right, let's get after it here. It's already been some amount of minutes, 6 or so. So let me get to a question. This question is going to be furnace related, which, but for the Floridians here, fear not. It's electric furnace. So, got a comment on the video. Awesome video. Would you know if a bad heat kit be the cause of emergency heat, blowing cool air? And this fellow is referring to the setting on your thermostat, which says emergency heat. And what that typically does is that bypasses your compressor if you have a heat pump, which is typical of this sort of thermostat. It bypasses your compressor and it turns on the electric resistance heat. So when he says heat kit would be bad, kind of wondering, this is what a heat kit looks like right here. This is a heat kit. If you can buy them on Amazon, if you want to pay more than anyone else in the HVAC industry pays. And let me tell you guys, when you go buy something, instead of calling an HVAC tech, you are going to pay a lot more for it. A whole lot more. So this heat kit is a HKR 10C, which is a Goodman heat kit. It does come with a breaker, so it would be more expensive than the one that doesn't have the breaker. Why you have a breaker, I don't know, because these units have a disconnect, so I really don't know why you need a breaker. But if you have a big old heat kit, you need that breaker, I guess, if it's 15 or 20 kW. But this is what it looks like, and they do go bad. If you look on the screen there on the left, about midway down that heat kit, there are some fuses. It's very hard to see, and I can't really show you on the screen because it's not going to show up. But there's some fuses there that can go bad. That little metal coil right there is what heats up when electricity flows through it, and the air blows across it, gets warmer. That's how it happens there. But that metal coil will actually bust. It can actually bust in half. Now, you can rewind that coil if you're nobody nowadays. I've rewound one of those coils in my entire life. It worked, and I was really proud of myself. And I also said to myself, I don't ever want to do this again in my whole life. That's exactly right. Jessica said it's like toaster wire. It's the same principle of resistive heat. Uses a lot of power, but you bypass the compressor, because what happens when it's really, really cold outside is when that compressor is working in the extreme cold on an average system, like none of this fancy bells and whistles stuff, the average system, it works less good. Is that right? It works worser. It is worse the colder it gets, basically. Newer compressors that are variable speed work better, but older compressors, they just get worse and worse and worse, and you reach a point where you're just better off hitting the emergency heat instead of running the compressor. Also, if you have an issue with the compressor, like compressor's bad, sometimes a technician in emergency will disconnect your compressor if it's grounded. It trips a breaker. You just disconnect it and you run your emergency heat for a while. That's one case too. So there are reasons why that would happen. But if your emergency heat is on and that heat kit is damaged or your thermostat isn't wired correctly, then you won't have any hot air coming out. It'll be cold air or the same air that's coming in, or typically a little bit worse, because it's not bad enough that you're going to be recirculating air. When you have air that flows to a duct system, typically that duct system isn't in a conditioned area. And in the wintertime, it's going to be in a colder area, typically. The air is actually going to cool off a little bit before it comes back in the house. So you're actually putting in like a very mild amount of air conditioning, which will be very much a discomfort. Another discomfort that I like, for those of you who have heat pumps, is when the strips aren't wired correctly, or they don't put in strips, which does happen in some climates. What's up, Mike HVAC? We got Mike HVAC in the house. I'll even get my radio announcer voice on there. It's Mike HVAC from Texas, I think. Texas, right? Mike, let me know. I think it was Texas. I'm almost positive. I'm so sorry if you're not from Texas. Texas is a nice place, though. So, I mean, you could move there. I got off on a tangent. I'm sorry. But if you have a defrost and you don't have a heater or the heater's not working, defrost is basically air conditioning. So you'll actually be blowing not only the same air back, but it'll actually be cooled off a little bit. It will be uncomfortable. It'll be uncomfortable. Mike is saying changed out 3 heat kits. I can't see what it says today. Really? 3 heat kits today, Mike? That's wild. I changed out a lot of heat kits in my day, but I don't know if I've ever done 3 in one day. That's a lot. 1 a day would be pretty much tops for me. And you know what? The heater that I seem to see die the most was bay heaters from Train. It's weird. I figured it'd be the best. Funkmon says it's a compliment. Texas is great, home of Buc-ee's. There is a I gotta tell you, I'm not a fan of Buc-ee's. I know people are loading their guns and head this way, especially Texas people. And you're heading this way saying, why don't you like Buc-ee's? It's just kind of I don't like big groups of people. And it's like they turned a gas station into Walmart or something. I mean, it's neat. I've looked at one in Florence, South Carolina. They have one near on I-95. I don't know what the intersection is, but it's I-95 near Florence. And it's this huge place. And my wife loves it. It's like, I'm going to go in there and shop and stuff. You want to shop at the gas station? It doesn't make any sense to me. But I will tell you guys, for those of you who are hating me right now, for those of you who are saying, Zach, I will never listen to your podcast again. First of all, that's petty, okay? And second of all, I've never been inside. So maybe once I went inside, I'll be like, wow, this is amazing. Buc-ee's, wow. Always packed. Jessica Egan says, oh, wait, let's go up. We have Greg. Actually, let's go to the chat real quick. Then we'll get back after this. Let me bring up the chat. Cow. Device is not available. That ain't good. Let me see if I can make this device available real quick, guys. I can just bring up the chat, though. Actually, we can just do that. Watch me work magic in real time. Live streams. All right. So here's our chat. Greg Miracle says, can we just sit our toaster in the duct and run the blower? Asking for a friend. Yeah, you definitely shouldn't do that, but I can definitely see the principle. Well, that goes along with like, let me just turn the oven on and just open the door. I'm going to tell you what, people do that. If you're in a pinch, it's like you're going to have, a warm house or you just want to die, especially you got like little kids or something like that. Plus, if you open the oven and you have little kids, you're basically setting up like a Hansel and Gretel sort of thing there, and you don't want that to happen. But you know what? You got to do what you got to do. You know what I'm saying? But electric heaters, they're pretty easy to come by. As long as your house isn't from like the 40s, you should be able to plug one into the wall and at least run one on each circuit. Maybe you have a couple different circuits you'd like to use. A little space heater, it's pretty easy to run. It's not too bad at all. Like a space heater, I think it's 5,500 BTU. I think that's about right. I'm trying to remember what they are. I got one right here. I don't remember, but it gives you a decent amount of BTU, so you can warm up a room, basically. Yeah, Buc-ee's is always packed. That's what I'm saying. How have I been, Mike? I've been pretty good, man. I have been just working in the shop here. This is basically what my life's about. That second camera is coming, guys. I promise you. What the world? Let me just turn the second camera on real quick. Here we go. Let me see here. Webcam. This is what. I see it. The sound was turned off for my webcam. Gotcha. Thank you, Jessica. Appreciate that. I think I fixed it, but I tell you what, I bet when I go right back there, it's going to do it again. Let me see if I can do some troubleshooting while we're flowing here. Let me see if I can do some. I can. This live streamer, man, especially if you got like one guy pushing all the buttons, it's a pain in the buttocks. But webcam says no. I'm going to turn that back on. I got it fixed already. Bam. There we go. Let me see if it works now. All right, all right, all right. Yes, sir, Bob. All right, good deal. Okay. Jeff Kuiper, good evening. Jessica says I can still hear you. Fixed it. Yeah. You program the software that I'm using for each scene. Like everything has a scene. Like the intro part where it counts down, that's one scene. I turn my mic off, or I program it to turn off during that period so I don't talk and you guys hear it while the countdown's going. But that one particular scene with the webcam hadn't been programmed yet. Hey, thank you, Jessica. That's a good job. Troubleshooting on the fly. That's some singing too, guys. That'll be $1. Put it in the chat, guys. You can super chat $1 for more songs or less songs, depending on how you feel about it. That was the second camera. I should show Clint the dust collector. I don't know if Clint's still here, but after the break here, I'll show or try to swing the camera over there, like during the break, so you can see it. And Clint, I hope you're still here because I'm going to show the dust collector. So basically, we have some sponsors for this program, and our sponsors are as follows. We have, the camera, it's working. Good. We have Navac here. This is the NR7. Clint, stick around. Yep, stick around. Clint, this is the NR7. Clint, I'm going to tell you this. You do air conditioning. Here's the NR7, the brand new recovery machine from our friends. That's what we call sponsors. We call them our friends. We don't go to their houses or have burgers or anything like that, but we just say that so we can give the illusion of friendship. Navac, they have a big fan on the end. Big fan equals lower pressure because we have a bigger condenser. It's just a very simple looking machine that gets the job done. It's brand new from Navac. You can find out more at navacglobal.com. Hey now, what about this? Titan Max, good, better Max. This is brand new. I found this on the internet. Yellow Jacket hadn't even told me about this yet. I was like, and part of me was kind of worried about that. I was like, why didn't they tell me about this? It's the beginning of the end. This is made in the USA, Titan Max, good, better Max. This is a gauge system. So if you don't like smart probes, you like gauges, there's a whole bunch of knobs you can turn built on a Titan manifold. It's really tough. It's A2L compatible, meaning our new flammable refrigerants will love flowing through this manifold. Ultimate user interface, hey, that's what the screen says. High resolution touchscreen display. You can touch the screen and change stuff. Digital and graphical pressure and temperature measurements. Guys, that's crazy. This thing is the weirdest thing since the Digicool. And, Digicool had a cult following, so maybe Doug Lockhart helped design this. That is not true. That is just me saying stuff. So thank you. Funkmon's like, holy smokes, I don't know what that is, but it looks fancy. Yeah, all you know is that the company said they're great, and everyone should have one. It doesn't even matter if you're a tech. All right, guys. That is the only one I have to read out here. The next ones are pre-recorded, so while the next one's going, I'm going to try to move this camera. You're going to see this dust collector. Hang on. If you run a home service business like painting, contracting, lawn care, or cleaning, your to-do list is endless. From hiring staff to mountains of paperwork, not to mention doing the actual work that pays the bills. Jobber is a mobile and online app that helps you organize your business and look professional. With Jobber, you can quote jobs, schedule your crew, invoice, and get paid all in one place. Try it free today at getjobber.com/shoptalk. TreeTech Tools has a wide variety of great test equipment. It covers industrial emissions, cooling and heating service, building performance, and electrical testing. Those and so many more. TreeTechTools.com. Use the Shop Talk discount code to support this show and save 8% off at TreeTech Tools. All right, I'm going to bring up this other camera, and we're going to see if you can see the dust collector. Everything in my shop, even though if anything looks professional, it's not. Everything works from like rope pulleys and wooden blocks that are nailed together or taped together or something like that. I am not kidding. That's what everything is. If you can see the light that I'm looking at here, it's basically a heart battery light with a rope around it that is screwed to a lighting pole like you'd use with like ring lights. And that's what I got here, and it works great. It looks bad. It works great, but it looks bad, guys. So let's take a look at this webcam and let's see if I aimed it right. Whoa, snap. All right, guys. Yes, there you go. What you have right there. And I'm going to try to describe this as best I can because I could actually do it. I could actually walk over there, supposedly, if I switch my microphone. Yeah, well, you can see the light, too. I can bring the light over here when we're done. Just remind me of that a little bit later, Funkmon, because I love the lights. They were on clearance for $20 a piece, and they're worth that and more. I know that much. So I'm going to try to switch microphones, and I'll confirm that it works through the chat, and then we shall go over there. Okay. Hopefully you can hear me. It's not going to be as good. So just let me know that you can hear me, and I will walk over there and we will check out this dust collector, and we'll see how this works here. We'll see if we can make this work. Okay, Jessica, here's what we're going to do. I'm going to move. I won't be able to see your comments for a second. I'm just going to kind of demonstrate this. Yeah, that's definitely like a droid. It's one of those trash can droids. All right, here we go. All right, it kind of weirds me out because I take my headphones off, so I feel like I'm no longer on the air or something like that. But hopefully you can still hear me because I'm about to talk. And if you can't hear me, I can't see it. This, let's see. There we go. This is the Hyper Tough 1000 dust collector. This particular vent flex heads out of the building. Okay, this is electrical tape on sticks, guys. Electrical tape on sticks. I crap you not. That's what I got here. All right, these are, I put these on when I'm cutting. I use this Hyper Tough ratchet to put the pipe clamps on these things. This one doesn't have one, but on the other side there is one. Okay, I'm going to do my best to explain this thing. If you're listening to this as a podcast, I'm sorry. Just imagine a whole trash can and then another half a trash can on top of it with gaskets in the middle. This is a gasket here. And on the inside of this, I actually purchased a bouncy house blower on Facebook Marketplace. It's mounted to the top of it, and it outlet there, the inlet on the opposite side, and kind of has a funnel that spins it down into the trash can, spins it so it settles at the bottom where most of the stuff settles in the trash can. Some of it blows out. Fun fact, if you buy that bouncy house blower, cut the screen out of the end or else it's going to block up real quick. And it works great. Behind this, I don't know if you guys can see it. Let me see if I can move the camera. I'm going to try. Here we go. Behind it, oh, it's going to be hard. As you can see behind there, that is a planer directly behind it, and I can run that planer and it will suck all of the dust off of it where it's not spitting back out until it gets full. When the can gets full, the planer spits everything out. And let's see here, I'm going to swing by my face. Ooh. Oh my gosh, this is Chauncey. This is my jointer that's built into the end of the table so I can just joint longer boards, and I have it hooked up underneath as well. So it will actually joint and work very well for removing all the dust. All right, I had some other tools right there, which we can get to in a minute. Oh my gosh, let me try to aim it somewhat. There we go. It's not perfect, guys. That looks pretty good. Okay, I'm gonna come back over. But it works pretty good. I got some old school heaters. I tell you what, since we're over here, check it out, HVAC guys. Look at this bad boy. This is, let me see what brand it is. An Imperial. And this is gonna be your 3/8 tubing bender. Classic. Got this at auction. I just love this thing. For bending copper tubing, it's very, very old, it looks like. People don't really use these anymore. They use like ratcheting tubing benders. And just for you HVAC guys as well, it's WIS tins, tin snips. Cleaned them up. They work beautifully now. They work wonderfully. And look, here's a saw. Here's a saw, guys. Okay, that's enough of that. I had to come back over here because I don't know if anyone's commented on this. Haha, you need the bender? Yep. Yeah, I tell you what, let me tell you about those things. Let me switch my microphone back here so I can sound more upstanding. Here we go. All right, we should be back in business here. I got to turn my computer around and I'm going to switch my screen back. Okay, we're not going to get to much. We're going to miss out on a lot of stuff. I had all this stuff planned and it ain't happening. I have to come back again. All right. Let's see. I have to go back and see where we're at here. Fancy Southern Engineering. Zack is feeling good today. I've been drinking. I've been drinking heavily, RJ, and that's when I feel good. I'm part of the manic and manic depressive today. Okay. Zack is feeling good today. Thank you, sir. Molasses Tubbs. Yeah, it's fancy Southern engineering, but the inspiration is: do I want to buy a dust collector for $1,000? Well, no, I don't, because I don't have $1,000. So what can I do so I can do this work and create something? So the idea is that whatever you need to do, you in particular, whoever's listening, you can figure out a way to do it typically if you're creative about it, and it can work halfway decent. Is it going to be as good as if I had a Festool dust collector? No. But this one cost 2 garbage cans and some vent flex, and the blower was $20. So if you think outside the box a little bit, you can make things work. Now, sometimes it's difficult to get that product fine tuned, and that's why people like to go just buy one. But I couldn't just buy one, so you know what I'm saying? I had to create something. That's what I do. As far as the planer I bought regular price like a year or two ago. And the jointer I got on Facebook Marketplace. It was on Facebook Marketplace for $150. I was like, I need a jointer, because if you think about it, if you've ever jointed boards or planed boards, if you have just the planer is so powerful. If you put a board through there, it'll somewhat flatten a board, but the rollers on it are so powerful, it will actually still stay out of whack unless it's jointed. A jointer, you just run a board across it until it's flat. So first you joint the board, then you can send it through the planer, and then you have a nice square board on top and bottom, and well, actually on the side too, because when you joint it, you joint the bottom, you can joint one side. So you have a flat side, flat bottom, you send it through the planer, you have a flat top. It works really well, and I'm so glad that I found it. Zack is back on the liquor. Honestly, as far as drinking purposes, I like to tell people I drank everything I needed to from the ages of 17 to 21 or 22. I haven't even had a drink of anything in about 15. Actually, no, it's 18 years. That's wild. Not that I'm counting. I'm just saying it's been that long. It's not like I have a chip or something, but I could have. Use what you got. That's right. There's, you know what? If you can get the nice stuff, go get the nice stuff. That's fine. But I can't afford the nice stuff, so I try to create something. And honestly, I enjoy creating stuff. So it's not like someone has to bend my arm to do it. I really enjoy it. Like, more inventive. I do that all the time at home, Zach. I'm frugal like that. That's what I'm saying. What's up, Curtis? Happy birthday, Curtis. Is it your birthday? Perhaps? Yes. Curtis, if you're wondering where I've been in a hole for about 2 months. So it's good to see you again. More inventive. The dust collector absolutely looks like one of my manic projects I do at 3 a.m. that irritates my fiance. That's about right. I try not to do them in the middle of the night anymore. Emphasis on anymore. But I have worked in the middle of the night before. I try to cut that out. I'm getting too old for that. But I had a need. Anyone who's ever tried to plane outside when it's raining, it ruins your planer. So it's good to have it inside. So that's that right there. I had some other tools, guys. I won't go into the tools today because we already did kind of look at the dust collector, and I showed you guys that cool bender that I have. And that's not the only one. I have another one, which I'll try to bring out next time. Curtis is 46 today. That's wild. Everybody's getting older here. Midlife crises are cropping up. We're all about to go buy motorcycles. Mike says, alcohol is poison. If you do partake, limit to a handful of times a year when celebrating with friends and family, not more than once a month. You know, like I said, I used to drink quite a bit, but I kind of gave up on that because it's wild. Weaver Maintenance says 46, that's old. I don't think 46 is that old. Weaver, how old are you, man? How old are you? Okay. I think you might be a little bit older. But happy birthday, Curtis. Curtis has been on this show. For those of you, like the guys who are watching like that, have just watched in the last few months, probably don't know, but Curtis has been on the show talking to me a few times. We usually have a really good time. In fact, a really good time sounds like it would hit the spot coming up soon. I can tell you that much right there. But I only got to one question. Greg said he was born in 65, so he's making us do math, which we're not going to do. We're just going to say Greg is 150 years old. We're not going to do the math, but we're just going to round up. All right, let me do one more question here. Let's see. Oh, we did that one already. Let's see. Again, I had one about how do you charge up the charger or battery on the Ryobi 300-watt power source? Well, the Ryobi 300-watt power source, which came off an old video of mine, is basically just an inverter for their 40-volt batteries. So you just had to have the 40-volt battery and the charger. And there you go. Yeah, so that was the easy one. Okay. Man, I'm not going to do any of the other comments. We'll save them until next time because it's going to run too long here. We've already gone 30 minutes. It'll be time to put Jackson to bed in a few minutes. So let me skip over to, I know I got a few deals out there. So I was looking through, and people typically turn their nose up at certain brands, which I take a second look at because, like I said, if you can get a nice tool for a lower cost, that's a good thing. But in the area of power tools, Hart is a mixture of decent and awful. So I thought it would be nice to go through a few of the things that pop up constantly for Hart and kind of show which ones are good, in my opinion, and which ones are awful. So here we go. Here's the first one. And I think this is great. A Hart 20-volt cordless pressurized vehicle cleaner. So this is basically just a miniature pressure washer that uses their battery platform. I used the Ryobi one to clean condenser coils. You can clean your car. The pressure is low enough where it's not going to make a difference. And it's easy peasy. You just have to have a bucket of water, or you can hook it up to the garden hose, whichever one you want to do. And it works really, really well. I'm assuming this is the same as the Ryobi one, which I really think is pretty awesome. I like that. It's low pressure. You can get one that's brushless. I know Ryobi makes one that's like 600 PSI, but you know what? Half the time you don't need that. Not for this low pressure stuff. I think that's good. So that one is good. Now, the next one is bad. For some reason, Hart has this 20-volt cordless 6-tool combo kit. It has the world's worst reciprocating saw. It's like, I want a reciprocating saw that can't cut through butter. There's your saw. They have a drill and an impact driver that is brushed and bad. The impact driver is super bad. They're calling that light a tool, which is insulting. The charger is awful. The saw remains, I don't know. I've never tried the saw or the sander, but this is just $300. Why would you do this when you can get like Makita stuff on sale? Like during springtime, like Memorial Day and Thanksgiving, you can get Makita stuff cheaper than this. It's crazy. Greg, thanks for dropping by, man. Greg's taking off. So that one's bad. All right, here is a good one. It's 3-piece, but it's brushless. Has 2 batteries, still the awful charger, but they have a 7 1/4 saw. And this stuff is, Funk Mon saying it's an outrageous price for the crap tier tools. Hart has decent stuff, but for some reason, it's like they don't know what things cost outside of Walmart. They do not recognize the fact. It's like airport food. It's like, do you guys know the sandwiches aren't $15 everywhere else? Hart is like that in Walmart. They think you just, I don't know. Maybe that's why all their ads have ladies. They think there's a bunch of ladies in here that are buying cleaning supplies and going, I need a circular saw. That's what they're doing. I don't know what they're thinking, but what they're thinking is wrong. But the brushless stuff, that's better. That's a better deal. I can't wait. I see a comment down there that says Milwaukee and Hormel chili in it. I haven't read the whole thing yet, but I'm looking forward to it. All right, this is just a suggestion from me. This is a pretty good set, I think, for the money. If you needed power tools, and Craftsman is better than Hart. I've used a lot of these tools. Their saw they have in the background, a circular saw, and the reciprocating saw. Even though it's brushed, it's decent. And you get a free battery with this one. This is at Lowe's. So I think this is decent if you needed a basic set of tools. Now, everybody out there that has their hairs standing up because they're like, you should buy DeWalt, bruh. We should do it, man. You should buy Milwaukee, bro. And that's fine because Milwaukee and DeWalt are both better than this. But these are pretty decent if you're going to use them around the house. I think it's a pretty good set. I see this all the time. I'm going to get to your comments in a second, guys, because I see them plopping through there. All right, and the last one is the Flex Steel. I think this Flex Steel is pretty good. The Flex Grinder seemed pretty good. This is Stack Lithium. This is their lithium pouch cell battery, so it's pretty good. I said pretty good a lot. Yeah, that's pretty good. And there's a wide selection of tools. This is at, not Walmart, this is at Lowe's. They even have that bandsaw down there. The bandsaw by itself is over $200, so that's a pretty sweet deal. So if you wanted to get into Flex or you need a nice powerful tool, there you go. I think that would be fine. That'd be fine. I think that's all the tool deals. Okay, we did it. All right, good deal. Let's go back to our chat, and let's see if I can look at the live chat for a minute. All right, live chat, let me see if I can read you guys. Y'all were chatting up a storm here for a second. This place is a dump. That must be the chat he's referring to. Sounds about right. A dump. Good grief. Raw Mesa, what's up? What's up, Ted? Let's clean it up in here. I mean, I'm always thinking about circular saw when I'm grocery shopping. That's what Jessica's saying. Jessica, every time I see a Heart advertisement, it is a lady using the tools. So they're marketing them to ladies. It's like, ladies, you need a circular saw. You don't need a man to cut your 2x4s. Do it yourself. So there's a bunch of three-finger ladies out there that are saying, I'm going to rethink this process. Susie says, hi, Ted. I don't know if we had to read that out loud. Let's just read every comment. Ted says, hi, Jess. Hi, Raw. Raw says, hey, Mr. Ted. Ted says, Susie. But he's like, exclamation points. He's like, Susie. Clint says, hey, Ted. There's a lot of people greeting Ted. Ted is pretty famous, and people have gathered around him. And if it was in person, there would be autographs being taken. Funkmon says, I created a power tool system in the garage where all the tools were attached to a power strip that I put on a box and had it plugged into an extension cord. I set up a remote control on the tools. I don't know what that's going to be looking like, but I'd love to see that there, Funkmon. You send me a picture of that to my email. You got my email. I'd like to see that. It was my solution for mobile corded tools until recently when I sucked it up, started buying cheap cordless. I know you did, because you bought some of mine, didn't you? Or you won something. It's a Cowboys of HVAC reunion. I don't know if that's quite a reunion. We're missing some Cowboys. But, okay, guys. I think that's enough for today. I'm not getting any more comments. I appreciate y'all stopping by. Let me get back to here. We'll get into some of this other stuff next time. I'll try to save them on there. I can delete some of them. Did I show you a picture of a sequencer? Because there is a sequencer. For those of you who are wondering, a sequencer is a relay that when it's energized with those bottom terminals low voltage, see those golden terminals coming off either side on the bottom? One side's going to be common. One side's going to be, let's just make it real simple, like a brown wire or a white wire, typically. And you can put 24 volts on that, and then in a predetermined timing, could be 5 seconds or 10 seconds, it's going to energize across those contacts on the top. So from left to right, that switch will close, and then your heat strips will turn on. So I've just described a sequencer. I hope everybody enjoyed that. There's many different types. That's what I call a single stack right there, but there's double stacks. There's ones where you have two different sequencers on the same plate for bigger furnaces or for straight up electric furnaces. So there you go. Jessica, Susie, everybody out there, I appreciate you coming by. I'm going to get out of here. It's about time to go Chuck Jackson into bed. He goes to bed at 8:30. We're right near there. I hope y'all check me out again next time. I'll be there in a... Yeah, Curtis is like, they're selling that on Amazon. How much did they sell that thing for? I did $14.95. So if you go to Amazon, you're paying more than the professionals pay. And sometimes it's a lot more. And you probably end up with a Nest thermostat. Or I can throw in something, or an Ameristar unit. You don't see those on Amazon, actually, I don't think. Is Ameristar even in business anymore? I don't know. But guys, it's good to be back and be alive. So I will see you guys on the next one. And God bless every single one of you. Don't forget you can watch this or listen to it as a podcast. Mr. Cool. Yeah, Mr. Cool. Yeah, there we go. You can listen to this as a podcast. Support the show by giving a like. Support the sponsors. You can find those in the description, or you can join as a channel member or a subscribe star member if you're listening to the podcast. All of it's in the description. Thank you so much, guys. And God bless every single one of you. Have a good night.